We're going to head down to a press conference taking place in California's capital. The Attorney General has been speaking there, and now the Democratic Governor Jerry Brown speaking. This after Attorney General Jeff Sessions just announced this lawsuit against California's sanctuary laws. Let's listen for a minute.
To the facts, we're going to stick to the law, and certainly we'll meet this litigation fully. And the Attorney General explained that. We're very interested in uncovering what the Attorney General has been doing, what immigration is doing, because we want transparency, we want integrity, and we want to protect the people of California. And when it comes to these different laws, there is no doubt that the police can do their job. Now, the federal government ought to do its job and not blame California for its own inability to solve the problem, whether it's of crime or whether it's of immigration. That's the job for this Attorney General, and he shouldn't come out to a political show to try to engage in these tactics as opposed to being above the fray, being the Attorney General for all of us and working together. And despite what he's done, I still put my hand out and say, I'll cooperate, Jeff, if you can get off this current maneuver you're on, because it's unbecoming. It's based on non-truth, and I hope you'll shape up before it's too late. And I'll tell you, this lawsuit, they're talking about going to the Supreme Court. This lawsuit is going to last a lot longer than the Trump administration.
Usually as an attorney, you advise your client not to say anything in public, but I think in this case, I'm really pleased that my client, the governor, has made it very clear where the state of California stands. And I think you could trace all of this back to the fact that Washington, D.C., as the governor just mentioned, the Trump administration, has just failed utterly to help us fix a very broken immigration system. And this is what it comes down to, these types of actions that take us nowhere in advancing both good immigration policy and protecting states and the people in our states to make sure that we're doing the job of public safety and advancing the general welfare of all of our people in the United States of America. I want to thank the governor for his words. I want to thank him for his actions. It was his signature on these measures that are giving Californians the type of protection they need to be able to do everything that's made us the sixth largest economy in the world.
That
today.
is California Attorney General Javier Becerra. He's speaking there at a news conference in Sacramento. You just heard from the governor of the state, Jerry Brown. Both of them, as you can see and hear, are saying they are anxious to defend their state's sanctuary laws. And this is after Attorney General Jeff Sessions just announced this lawsuit against the state for those laws. And Jeff Sessions alleging obstruction of federal immigration enforcement. A lot going on there, and now that we've heard from the governor and the attorney general there after Jeff Sessions, Guy Benson.
Yeah, they seemed indignant that the federal government would be getting involved this way. Of course, in the previous administration, the Obama White House and legal team went after Texas, went after North Carolina, went after Arizona on a host of state-level laws. One thing that strikes me in this whole debate about who's right and who's wrong and is there merit to this, it goes back to one of the first clips we played earlier this hour at the very beginning of the show. Senator Dianne Feinstein, liberal Democrat from California, she said the point of deportation and immigration laws should be, or at least should focus on, deporting people who are here illegally who also commit other crimes. The issue here is one of the laws that the Trump administration is challenging in court in this lawsuit makes it harder for the federal government to be notified that an illegal immigrant is in prison in the state of California and to deport them when they get out of prison. So those are exactly the type of people, illegal immigrants guilty of other crimes, that are being protected under this California law. And so I think the Trump administration, as a PR proposition, ought to at least focus on that one to call out the hypocrisy that we're seeing from the Democrats on this.
But we saw the line move on this just recently with the mayor of Oakland. You know, she decided to warn her illegal residents. I think that's an oxymoron. You can't technically be a resident of the United States if you're here illegal. So the original crime, and I always take a lot of heat on Twitter when I say this, was that they came here illegally and that they are persisting regardless of whether they commit further crimes. So we saw the line move on that with her warning that, you know, customs agents might be coming to a house near you. I'm paraphrasing her somewhat, but she put the call out. And the argument, the pushback on that is you may have even endangered some of our law enforcement and our ICE agents by warning people that they're coming to do their jobs to get you. And because of that, I don't even think the White House, no one needs a PR move right now. They need to call that out. And in essence, that's what's happening today. They're saying, no, 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 there are existing laws. We will uphold them. And if you don't abide by that, you can sue. But in the interim, I think you still have to abide.
By the way, to paraphrase Jeff Sessions a few moments ago when he announced this lawsuit, how dare you, he said to that Oakland mayor. Kennedy?
I don't know. Jeff Sessions' proclamations don't hold a lot of weight with me. I'm not.
A lot
really
of Republicans feel the same way.
I'm not really impressed with the job that he's been doing, and I think there's a level of disingenuousness here. I also think, the one thing I will say is that we have so many holes in our immigration policy in this country, and Congress, it is up to them to make bold moves and work together and really figure out on the federal level what our immigration policy is and get rid of this gray area between the federal government and the states, because that's what's so problematic here. And that's what's allowing California to grandstand and make these big counter proclamations against a damaged attorney general.
Okay, we've got a lot more to get to. ABC News giving Chelsea Clinton a platform to express her support for the Me Too movement, but with no mention of her father Bill's treatment of women. This comes just weeks after another network grilled Ivanka Trump about her father's alleged misconduct. So is the mainstream media showing its bias? We'll debate that one on the couch next.
Your mother, great advocate for women and girls. You have been the same way, Chelsea. And seeing this Me Too movement and Time's Up, what does this past year mean to you?